What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel. We're going right after the Super Bowl here. It is time for off-season number 4 for our Vegas Raiders team. We have come off a 33-14 Super Bowl where everyone in chat, well, just saw this game, but it was pretty cool, right? I'm not going to spoil the box score. Go watch the Super Bowl. You want to see what happened. We won. Spoiler. Dontrell Levy, Super Bowl MVP, 2 picks. We played great defense. And now it is time, with this offseason, to turn this team into a dynasty. Off our Super Bowl, we had 2 upgrades from maybe the 2 most influential players in said Super Bowl. We asked chat who was going to be MVP. These were the 2 names that came up. Seth Thigpen, a rookie middle linebacker, absolute psychopath, who's hit on Cam Scatterbo, who looked early. Cam Scatterbo was going to take this game over for the New York Giants offense. Thigpen hit him so hard he shit his britches. Knocked him out of the game. He didn't even want to return. Known psychopath Cam Scatterbo was too scared to return to that Super Bowl because of the hit by Thigpen. But the actual in the record books MVP, my MVP as well. 2 interceptions, including a beautiful one-handed pick on Jackson Dart in the end zone. Dontrell Levy gets an upgrade. And a guy that was, what, a 5th round pick? We sniffed it out, said that's a guy we want, building our man defense. And a crowning moment, crowning achievement for him as this team rolls towards a Super Bowl. But it's not all good news, right? We look at our team, and as we ended the last episode, we found out, we're like, okay, look at this. Look at our Super Bowl winners, fellas. We feel great. We feel good, right? And it goes, wait, where's Jamal Adams? He's not in our linebacker. Jamal Adams he's one of the most iconic players from this series, right? Took him at safety, moved him to linebacker, completed the career resurrection, got linebacker of the year, had him up to a superstar dev. Where'd he go? Offensively, where's our former offensive lineman of the year, Colton Miller at? These guys have retired. So this offseason started. We have contracts. We got to figure out who we're paying. We can't pay everybody. Rogers at right tackle's up for contract. Charles Grant at tackle here is up for contract. Defensively, we have Darian Porter, who gave up a big play, didn't have a great first half. Second half, ended up leading the team in tackles, 12 tackles, got his interception, got his get back. He's up for a contract extension. We got some incredibly tough decisions that had to be made already, and then now you throw in, obviously Adams, that's more of a nostalgic thing, but now you throw in the fact, I need a tackle. I did not foresee Colton Miller retiring, going on top as a Super Bowl champion. But as we can see here in the retirements for our Raiders, we'll go through every team here in a second. Obviously, Jameis that's a backup quarterback. But we have lost 2 integral players. That the experience of Jamal Adams, a.k.a. the mentorship tag that gives extra XP to linebackers, we now need to put that somewhere on our wish list for this offseason. And now we just got to replace arguably the best tackle in football. So that's way to go. What a way to start the offseason. Looking at the actual retirements here, we'll go through team by team quickly and just see if there's any huge ones. Matt Milano's gone there. Ew, bunch of jobbers. Charvarius Ward, Quentin Nelson. That's a big, bad start to the offseason for that MILF owner of the Colts. We got Braden Smith. Oh, Frankie Luvo still will be jumping offside somewhere and being a Darity player. Dak Prescott retires after 13 years. Lindstrom, one of the best guards in football, retires. Got Jawan Jennings, John Allen, Tony P. Legend, Tony Pollard. Mike McGlinchey is gone for the Jets. Joey Bosa's after 13 years. Carl Davis, famous Jameis we saw. Ronnie Stanley and Marlon Humphrey. That's a tough start to the offseason for the Ravens. DJ Reader's gone. Stephon Diggs, TJ Watt, and Jalen Ramsey have retired for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's quite substantial. Kaiser White, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon is gone. Wyatt Teller, Jerry Sneed, Jeffrey Simmons, that's back. Because the Titans aren't good yet. So they were definitely holding on, especially Jeff Simmons. That is going to be quite the loss. Andrew Van Ginkel is gone. He used to be like a sim god for the Vikings. So, not crazy. It's not like we're losing a bunch of Hall of Famers, but definitely significant retirements here. So I thought we would get poached. We got old sexy Daves, Brian Dable at OC, Raheem Morris at DC. I thought as ex-head coaches, how well these units played, win the Super Bowl. I thought we would lose Daboll for sure. Thought he, like, resurrected his career after getting canned by the Giants. Still here. So we're going to run it back with this super squad of coaches. All right, so now we have our player contracts. This was always going to be difficult. What's not difficult is we're going to decline the 5th-year option on Kyle Clary and just deal with, that's next year's problem, not this year's problem. We're going to decline the 5th-year option on Raekwon Sweeney as well. Okay, well, all right. For our own contracts, though, this was always going to be difficult. We have not crazy players from the amount, but we have crazy players from the limit. We have, I'll move the webcam here for a second. We have $101 million of cap, which is great, but we need to set some aside for the rainy day fund. That is going to be next year's quarterback contract. We got 4 that are worth. Derek Hall had 10 sacks. He was a chat signing a couple free agencies ago. We have Caleb Rogers, we developed into a perfect scheme fit, was a dev trait rookie when we started this rebuild. We have Charles Grant, exact same story, dev trait rookie. We threw him to the Wolves at right tackle as a rookie, and we developed him into a perfect scheme fit. And then we get Darian Porter, exact same story. We decided very early we were going to run a man defense. We made him the best man corner he possibly can, and had a hell of a Super Bowl. But we can't sign everybody. We have got the budget. So myself and the chat have decided Darian Porter is going to get a contract. So I'm thinking 2 years. Let's try to lock him up here for the rest of his prime. Actually, you know what, though? If he does take 1 year, this might be smart knowing that we have to pay Kyle Clary. Because if we go 2 years, maybe that $17 million cap hit next year, negatively affects how we view that quarterback contract. Whereas if he plays good again, we could just, 1 year rentals. So I was thinking 2 years. Usually if this is a regular rebuild, I would go 2 years just for viewing it from his prime and regressive standpoint. But because Kyle Clary literally looks like he could cost $600 million, I think we'll go 1 year so we have all hands on deck cap-wise. And then if we can make it work, we'll bring Porter back for another year. I think it just gives us a little bit of luxury for our quarterback deal. So he's not going anywhere. And Charles, my plan going into this offseason is kind of knowing who was going to be I was going to let the right-hand side of the offensive line walk. Maybe we can draft a tackle. We don't have a first-round pick, but maybe, we find our tackle. With Colton Miller retiring, I really don't love the idea with no first-round pick and somewhat limited salary cap space to go find a replacement tackle. Actually, I would counter that. If we don't sign Charles Grant, I guarantee he's probably going to be the best tackle available. So we're going to open ourselves up to getting into a bidding war. I think the fact, too, he's looking for a 3-year deal. Going to lock him up for the rest of his prime. We just can't replace 2 starting tackles from a Super Bowl team. I'll round these up here, too, just because it's not a full green bar. Hopefully he picks it. No idea what the franchise tag number would be if he declines it, but it's expensive, but that's the going rate of a starting tackle. 86 start dev tackle. I like viewing these things as within these 3 years, could he get into the 90s? He's already a scheme fit. So is 25, 26, and $28 million for a guy that by the time he's making $28 million should be in the 90s? Is that expensive? I don't think so. So for a guy that still has, I think, his best football ahead of him, and me not wanting to replace 2 tackles, we are going to re-sign Charles Grant. That is going to leave us with $60 million. Don't view that as we have $60 million. Let's go spend it. Again, we need it. The whole point of this, and this is what you guys want. I would have been perfectly fine treating this Raiders franchise how I've treated every other franchise. And after we win the Super Bowl, we bury it and move on to something else. Enough people said Dynasty. I want to see Dynasty. So if we're going to do a Dynasty, we got to treat it like, that is our number one priority. It's not figuring out can we resign Caleb Rogers, Derek Hall, Ojulari, et cetera, et cetera. It is that $60 million that we have remaining. I don't even know if there's a free agent available that'd make me say, screw it, let's spend that money. That money needs to be kind of viewed as that's Kyle Clary's money for the time being. Because he's going to be what? I don't know what, my math ain't mathing right now, but he's probably going to be like $60 million a year. All right, so we just got our depth chart looking pretty, just to see when we start this offseason, where do we need to go? Where do we need to get better? What are areas of concern? Maybe what are areas of strength that we may be able to trade? Because we do not currently have a first-round pick. And when we look at our offense, I think, again, it's just very clear. Imagine if we didn't have Charles Grant in this picture. Imagine we're down, SD's here, 69, and he has 80 strength at left tackle. That's not great. mix and match elsewhere. Not a big fan, actually. Let's just generate this lineup here because we did move. Gilmore at guard, 77, 78 with the boost, 26 years old. He's definitely not Charles Rogers, who we let walk, but I think he's a good enough right guard that if we can't find somebody to draft at that guard spot, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I don't think he'd be a turnstile. I think maybe the rest of the line needs to pick up the slack, but we have something at right guard. Left tackle is a big need. And with not having a first-round pick, I don't know if we have a lot of players that we can move for a first-round pick, but if we're in a scenario where maybe a tackle is still available in the last, we kind of looked at the last mock draft and we said in the 20s. There is a side of me that's like, all right, we just won the Super Bowl and we've done so by being aggressive in past drafts. Should we maybe punish ourselves by not having a first-round pick this year, make it a little harder? I'm going to be honest. We're going for a dynasty. Fuck that. I'm treating this how I would treat this. And we're having a second-round pick. If this guy, DeMarcus Russell, at right tackle, top 5 talent, is still available in the 20s. And we got Wilkins, who could be good. Maybe we need to scout him. We have Reed Perkins, who's still around one tackle that's down here in the 20s. Ben Santos at right tackle is available as well. I think if those still kind of stay the same for mock draft 5, I think maybe we trade up. I think that's certainly the guy right there. But who knows? Between mock draft 4 and mock draft 5, he could shoot up the draft boards and be completely unattainable. But I'm very interested. It has piqued my interest. So that is something we need to consider. But big picture, left tackle, I mean, what is that? The second most important position on offense? Third most? It's certainly up there. We do not have one right now with the surprise retirement of Colton Miller. So that is top priority. S-tier need for this offseason, left tackle. Everything else is good. Offense is ready to rock and roll. Not looking forward to the $1 trillion contract we have to hand out to Kyle Clary, but that's why we draft as well as we can draft. Defensively, it's still kind of more of the same. D-line has depth. If someone wants to overpay for Bowden, I think he could be a piece that I could move from. Just because didn't make a lot of plays. He's never, in terms of pecking order, going to have his X factor enabled. So it's good from, an XP rate standpoint. But I think if the trade offers for Cade Bowden or like whatever his value is, doesn't factor into an X factor, aka people are overpaying, if people are just treating him as an 83D tackle, probably not going to like the return investment. But if we could get, I don't need someone to overpay, but if it could be, I trade my Cade Bowden and a 3rd-round pick, or if I'm desperate enough, Cade Bowden, our 2nd-round pick, can we get up into that 1st round and get a franchise tackle? Because, goddamn, I hate this menu where it always takes you back to offense and just take you back to where you just were. Cade Bowden, yes, X Factor, but we can't get distracted by the X Factor. He played a lot. He played more than the other nose tackle that we had, and he had 20 tackles, 8 TFLs, 3 sacks. Not bad for a nose tackle, right? X Factor, nose tackle, yada, yada, yada. We had this rookie, D-tackle 3, Contreras, same kind of build, doesn't have the dev trait, but he just felt different out there. Played far less snaps than Cade Bowden, gave us 7 TFLs and 4 sacks. So, sir, yes, the dev trait, the X Factor, having all the X Factors, seeing a freaking wall of red on our defense, I do love that. But Contreras' production is enough that if the price is right for Bowden, he could be tradable. I saw someone in the chat say maybe Sweeney. Rico, we did make the trade for Sweeney. But with the re-signing of Porter and with the fact that I think Kitchens, who we had 2 years ago, returnment of the year as a rookie, 81. One of these corners could be expendable. Like if we had to go Levy, Porter, and Kitchens in the nickel with Nails kind of plays that safety role. Or maybe move Nails to nickel and we give Tyke Smith on the field. Like that's that absolute luxury that our defense has. Sweeney could be, kind of pulling his Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We traded for him. He could get traded out again. That could be a situation. We have depth at safety with Paulie, but Paulie, the plan is in place there for him to succeed Jeremy Chin, who did take pretty big regression. It looks good. You see the 94 X Factor, but look at that. He has plus 10 morale right now. He's an 84. He got hit with the worst regression on the team. But we already have his successor in place. Linebackers as well. I mean, Guerrero at 76 star, Hardy 74 star. If we can get good value there, I mean, our linebackers are very clearly, Thigpen and Pearman. But for needs, edge rushers, big one. We're letting Derek Hall walk. We have this guy, Denario Shepard. I'm going to be honest, no idea how he got on our team. I think he was a practice squad guy, a P squad guy. If I can't find an edge rusher, that's not the end of the world. Maybe this guy could come out of nowhere type player for us. But I would put that probably as our second biggest need. Need one, tier 1, left tackle. Tier 2, A tier, could be like if there's a BPA at guard, maybe we look at it. Edge rush, definitely tier 2. I want to try to get a veteran linebacker, someone with mentor tag, so we can get that extra XP for Thigpen and Pearman. But we have trade pieces. I think we're good. We're well equipped for this offseason ahead. So let's take a look at the free agents that we got here. Again, we're probably going to be window shopping. That is, says $60 million. That's Kyle Clary's $60 million. Ooh, Jalen Hurts hitting the open market. Just, I guess, out of general curiosity, like, we're good. We have Anthony Richardson as our backup, too. But Shedeur Sanders is out there. Running back, Marion Hampton, Ollie Gordon. A couple veterans. Fullback, wide receiver. Wow. Bad year to need wide receivers. All due respect to my fellow Canadian, Alec Eomanor. Man, Booty was kind of cooked. If I had, screw it money, he was impressive in that Super Bowl. He was better than Malik Neighbors on the Giants. Who's this guy? How's there like a UDFA guy hitting free agency as one of the top guys? That's bizarre. Tight end, Michael Mayer. Do we bring him back? Do we get our 4th tight end? Terrence Ferguson, Gadsden's out there. That's honestly a fun year to need a tight end. Let's look at the tackles here, though. This is the one we need to spend time on. Is there a tackle, kind of worth bypassing the draft? Yeah, I'm not seeing one. I do like Patrick Paul. I think he's actually probably one of the rare, impressive Miami Dolphins this year, IRL. Guard, got Landon Dickerson. Center, Creed Humphrey. Good year to need a center. I'm flattered that he's that interested in our team. Now, right guard, Mekhi Becton, big ticket. There's our boy right there, Caleb Rogers. And for the players that we let lock, I do want to go see where they land. Man, Mekhi Becton, $20 million a year. Good God. What do they got to tackle? Emory Jones. I wish there was interest. If there was interest, I think that'd be something I would consider. 25, right side of 30, 83 with a dev trait, $15 million per year. Probably looking for the same money that we just gave Charles Grant. But I am thinking, fellas, that, it's going to be let's figure out that first-round pick situation and get one of those tackles. Defensively, again, we're window shopping for the most part, unless there's someone that's a must-have. Pass rush would be our other big need. To be honest, not much there. D-line. This guy, Adrian Donaldson. A. Donald. I see what they did there. Deion Walker. Do we need a 6'8", 350-pound nose tackle? Daniil Hunter. B.Y. Oh, man. The pink slip desire in my body just shivered a little bit. Look at the speed on B.Y. Byron Young. There's Derek Hall. Got some interest to be another player. I'll be interested to see where he lands. Chris Braswell. This would be the position I'd be interested in spending in. Colin Oliver, a little bit undersized. Good speed. Okay, let me ponder this with chat and we'll be back. We're stalling out here. I think we might have to bid on an edge rusher. So with free agency, just to skip ahead, I wasn't really planning on spending any money because, again, that's $60 million. It's our quarterbacks. But there's no other free agents that I think were even remotely interesting in trying to bring in. And because of how I think we're going to approach this draft, by maybe trying to chase a tackle that can come in and replace Colton Miller, we're just not going to have a chance to be like, well, let's just go draft an edge rusher. So the fact that, like, Will McDonald, he's just looking for a one-year deal. Danielle Hunter, we have Byron Young here. All these guys are just looking for one-year contracts. That money is not really going to, I'm not going to spend this money this year. It's not going to come into play for Kyle Clare's extension. So the fact they're all looking for 1 years, I think we get an edge rusher. So I open it up to a poll. I think Danielle Hunter, I love the fact that he's interested. It's clearly in this scenario he wants to go chase the Super Bowl ring. There's 0 teams bidding on him. But I think because there's 0 teams bidding on him, it should allow us to at least see if we can go in the weeds here for Byron Young. Byron Young, 3 years younger. Superstar dev trait versus Hunter's star. And then obviously, a little tingle of pink slips when you look at Byron Young. Type of player we always love. 92 speed, 93 acceleration. Power moves good. Tackle, play rec, awareness. I'm kind of not in a bid war. Absolutely not in a bid war. But I'm thinking I'll go 24. 1 year, 24. Where does that put us? And if we don't have it, maybe we just see what Danielle Hunter's saying. I don't think he'll take a slight at being our fallback option. But 54% of you decided BY, if we go sign a free agent, should be the one. Ladies and gentlemen, your free agent signing, Byron Young, 6'2", 248 pounds, 6 years out of Tennessee, 85 rated. We might have just got an upgrade over Derek Hall. Look at this freak of nature. And I was saying, it's kind of just putting the team back together. We're trying to win a dynasty. This other edge rusher, I'm always going to be using Maxx Crosby. If I'm going on the line, it's going to be Mad Max. This guy's so good, might make me think about it. So we do have mock draft 5, which we got our edge rusher. All eyes are towards the tackle market. And the tackle that I think we're kind of falling in love with here a little bit is DeMarcus Russell. I don't know if we can for sure trade up. I think if we want to tackle, the gentlemanly thing to do is to get this pick 20 before the run-on tackles. Get ahead of them so that we get our tackle. But, within the area code, is a discrepancy between going to pick 16, so we have our choice of these apparent top 5 talent tackles, or do we just say, you know what, we'll go at 20, we'll let this one go at 17, and trust that Russell is the right one. I don't know yet, but that is our plan. We're going to see if we can make a deal happen. I think pick 20 with the Commanders is where that magic would happen. So taking a look at the free agency recap, wow. Creed Humphrey still available, but we have Jalen Hurts going to the Saints, Landon Dickerson going to the Commanders, Jared Goff back to the Rams. Wow, Amarian Hampton to the Cowboys, Mekhi Becton to the Saints. Danielle Hunter's still out there looking for a job. Caleb Rogers, that one sucked to let him walk, homegrown talent. He is now a member of the Patriots. Very happy that we were able to land Byron Young, so we don't have to worry about edge rush, and we can just focus on that first round and finding our tackle. We have Reed Blankenship, who stopped here for a cup of coffee in our Raiders franchise. He's on to the Colts. Derek Hall on to the Titans. Had 10 sacks for our defense a year ago. Okay. I mean, as far as division goes, whatever. All right, so for our focus scouts, kind of figured, deliberated a little bit. I think it's going to be in our best interest just to know all those tackles that are in the 20th range in case we get lied to from that mock draft and the 2 top 5s go early. So we're going to look at Wilkins, who's projected to go first round, Perkins, who's projected to go first round, and Santos was also a late first rounder, because I think our plan right now might be to trade one of our corners to get back up into the first round. So I feel pretty damn confident to blind pick a player at corner than I do at tackle. There's a couple. Someone looks godlike. I'm not seeing a DeAndre Levy, like a 4th round pick that's 6'5" with A stats. But I think we could probably blind pick a corner. Let's get all of our homework on our tackles, because that is priority number 1. I was just walking this down here. We got our scouting done. Scouted Perkins, 2nd, 3rd rounder. The right tackle, UDFA. So at least we know to avoid him for sure. But the last tackle we got is Wilkins. He got scouted here as a legit first rounder. Double C's, and his combine's not the best. It's not terrible, but it's nothing special. So I was like, all right, look, we have a break glass case emerging. We can't trade up, can't get one of these top 5 tackles. Excuse me, looking at Ruben here. He's solid, but he's not. I think Russell's our guy. I think if all things equal, we can move up and find a way to get as high as we want in the draft. The guy that put up 43 reps on the bench press, that's the guy we want. But I was like, okay, that other guy looks pretty good. If we can't trade up to the money spot number 20, maybe we can get him. Wilkins in the final mock draft going ahead of DeMarcus Russell. What do they know? What is going on with this? Is there something that I'm missing? Or is this just take advantage? Don't overthink it. Let them think they're getting a steal, and we'll get the better player. All right, we've gone all the way to pick number 20. I think we've all kind of decided this is where we wanted. Pick 17, the Saints got Corey Rubin, who we also had scouted as a top 5 talent. But we have the Commanders here. In the last mock draft, they were looking at a corner. So we're kind of at a situation here where it's like, do you want the mystery box of maybe a corner? Or guess what, Commanders? For that pick 20, I will give you pick number 2 of us. You want a corner? That's your big need? Don't have a lot of money? How about Raekwon Sweeney? 24. Probably the same age as the corners that are here. Tell me that ain't sweet. Right there. Starting caliber corner. Maybe your salary cap situation ain't the best. But we can make it work right now. Do we give pick 2? Pick 3? Maybe? Keep our second? We're very limited on picks. And the reason why Raekwon Sweeney is because we're not going to re-sign him next year. There's no way at his cap point we got to pay our quarterback too. So let's try this right now. See, I think it might take the 2 to get it done. The only other player we have that we're willing to trade is Cade Bowden. 83 X factor and an 86 corner for pick 20. I feel like I'm getting ripped off here. They can make it work, I think, from a salary cap. But, like, if I'm doing this, like, I want something else. You know? No. We forgot to hit pause. Fuck! All right, let's call the Jets. Okay. Couldn't do a trade with the Jets. We moved the next pick down. Wilkins, the first round D tackle offensive tackle that we liked, went off the board. Next pick up is Carolina. If we want that tackle, this has to be the pick. They actually have salary cap. That's why we couldn't trade with the Jets. They need a D tackle. We may be saying bye to our X Factor D tackle. All right, we're able to find a trade. People in chat are saying this is like a real draft war room right now. We're kind of going back and forth. But here's the lay of the land. As soon as we had to start adding things, chat was very adamant because it's the offseason. So we want as many picks as possible, not to throw in our best pick that's our own this year, which is our second. So I threw in a second next year and a second in 2031. We have both our first round picks there. So it's like, let's just start. I think our most desirable, replaceable trade piece is Cade Bowden at D tackle. Didn't really put up big time production. Our third string D tackle put up better numbers than him with way less snaps. Yes, he's an 83 X factor, right? But I want to use that 83 X factor as like the window dressing to sell him. The Carolina Panthers, D tackle is their number one need. I was shocked that, such little trade value for a team that needs D tackle 1 for an X factor. So I was like, all right, they have quarterback on their top 5. I'll throw in Anthony Richardson. Still has some value. I think he's 26, 78 normal. There might be something there. That still wasn't enough. I had to throw in one more thing. Bowden, Richardson in 2 seconds was not getting accepted. So I threw in Burns. He was our kind of gadget hybrid player. Fit in as running back 3. I like Keaton Mitchell. He'd always be behind Keaton Mitchell. So it's kind of just, this is a product of, I always want to overpay for trades. And we've drafted and acquired talent so well that it's just like, we'll just throw in the 84 guy. So we are able to get up into the first round with this selection. And we are now on the clock as your defending Super Bowl champions. Pick number 22. And we know exactly who we want. We scouted the tackles. We need a guy that can come in pro-ready, franchise, left tackle. And it's not going to be you, because we got to trust our scouting. And the talent at tackle falls off an absolute cliff. This is it. It was always this guy. You look at the letter grades. A, awareness. A, impact block. B, pass block. B, run block. Looks pretty good. But we know he's fully scouted as a top 5 talent. You go to the physicals. It's like, okay, maybe not a freak of nature athlete, but it sure as shit is when it comes to his strength. 43 reps on the bench press. That's almost as good as it gets. Like a lot of times when you see like the 44s, 46s, it's like nose tackles and guards. 43 reps, 6'6", 230. His name's so close to the biggest bust in Raiders franchise history, DeMarcus Russell. Maybe he's related. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first round pick. The Raiders aggressively move up, and it was always for Mr. Russell. Come on. Don't be normal, Dev. That's the first hurdle. Don't be normal, Dev. Be better than a 75. We know he's top 5 in true talent, but that's always a reflection of how good the draft is. Top 5 this year is not as good, or could be better than what a top 5 graded pick was a year ago. But a Russell 1 jersey up on the stage is not good. Number 2 in true value at pick 22. We get the Dev trait, 96 strength. Good, I mean, not a brutal athlete either. 74 acceleration, 68 speed. F injury. We like players with F injury. We've had a good record with those. That looks like an outstanding player. If you're going to be aggressive and trade out of the second, if I'm going to be trading, even if surplus or not, an X-Factor D-tackle that we didn't even really draft, we found him as a UDFA, I better be getting a good player. And that's exactly what we got. All right. You might go, what the fuck? I love J-Mo. Love calling out J-Mo. But I'm a little worried. And I think we need to kind of view this draft. Everything's tied to the quarterback. Like, there is a legitimate shot our quarterback's going to want $600 million. So Jameson Williams, like J-Mo, man. Love having that speed. Look at the cap hit. $19 million for a guy that's on any consistent stretch, any given episode, could be our 4th receiver, even 5th receiver. There are games where you will get, obviously, Dante Thornton's the wide receiver 1, undisputed. But there will be games where it's Mitch across the middle, Brock Bowers, even Jeanty on screen passes that get more looks than J-Mo. Love J-Mo. I don't know if we get to this Super Bowl without J-Mo. Love with the speed that he brought. But the fact of the matter is, at 28 years old, the first thing that goes is speed. Still, however, 87, 28, wide receiver 1. You're looking at the Seattle. You got rid of DK Metcalf. You have JSN. You need another playmaker. J-Mo makes a lot of sense for a Seahawks team that's very good, that also has a lot of salary cap. They have $72 million. This ain't nothing to them. So what we have done is it's a little bit about downsizing, a little bit about adding some salary cap for the pending quarterback contract. We were able to get the first pick in the 2nd round for Jameson Williams. And again, I always will err on the side of overpay. I think that's probably an overpay, from the context of Madden. Maybe in real life, Jameson Williams probably would get a 2nd rounder. But in Madden, I probably, could have thrown in something else to get a 1st round pick for Jameson Williams. But long story short, C4, you just gave away your other speed option, right? Well, I didn't get rid of Jameson Williams because I didn't want to value speed at wide receiver. We got rid of Jameson Williams because with the first pick of the 2nd round, trusting our scouting, we have this guy, Kyle Walton, deep threat wide receiver of Oklahoma State. Maybe not J-Mo speed, but 4.30. Has elite acceleration, elite agility, elite speed, scouted as a 1st round talent. There are a lot of times in these draft classes, the speed guys, they ain't shit. They're 2nd, 3rd round talent. We know this guy has, look at that, A, ball carrier vision, A, carry, A, kick return, A, run block. He does the dirty work. How many times you get a deep threat wide receiver who does dirty work? B, release, B, deep route running. And now we're going to get, ideally, if this pick works out, the secondary speed option that we wanted all along on the other side of Dante Thornton to keep our offense the way it is for whatever it's going to be. Probably, what, $17 million less. $17 million I can go towards the quarterback contract. Kyle Walton, you are a Raider. What an Al Davis draft. We get Jamarcus Russell's son at tackle. No, he's probably too old. Get Jamarcus Russell's cousin at offensive tackle that had the best bench press, very Al Davis. And then we just go get the best deep threat in the draft, very Al Davis. Just win, baby. Number 11 in true value, falling out of the first round at pick 33. Scouting report, speed, dev trait, 96 acceleration, 95 agility, 98 speed. Let's go. We've done it again. All right, so we are now here at pick 64. I decided not to trade up in the second round. We've enough people in chat right now suggesting, because we had him offered as a potential trade piece. We have Sweeney here. We declined his fifth-year option. There's no chance we are re-signing him next year. So for that, there is a lot of value to potentially be had. Our secondary is absolutely stacked. But right now, our budget is balanced. And there's 2 players left in this draft that are kind of circled as gotta have. A couple other guys, maybe a linebacker or 2, it looks nice. But I don't see the next Dontrell Levy at corner. I'm not seeing like a corner that has 8 tackle, 8 man, or anything like that. It doesn't look like I can blind pick here a really good corner. So I think it's, needless to move Sweeney right now. I feel like if we do trade him, we're going to get punished because in sim, like, someone's going to get a seasoning injury. Or like, why the fuck did we move him? There are 2 players that I want. One here's at guard, Connor Matlock. A pass block, B run block. Terrible bench press. So I don't really want to overdraft him, but I'm very intrigued by those letter grades. Want him. Plus guard, that right guard spot. He's definitely the best guard that's available. The one player that I really, really want is we got this guy here. Scouted some D tackles. Most of them are junk, but every now and again you find a diamond in the rough. Gavin Howard is a first, second rounder. We just traded Bowden, X Factor nose tackle. Could we replace it with, who knows? He's a first, second round talent, 6'6", 345. Definitely not the most impressive looking D tackle we've seen throughout all our drafts. The key ratings aren't anything crazy. The combine is pretty good. Anytime a 350-pound 6'6" runs 4'9", you're interested, but it's not insane. Like, I've seen these tackles that have elite accelerations and have much better bench presses. But he's a good player. So it's either I draft that D tackle right now. There was a couple nice linebackers, but this guy here could be decent. Sam Sparrow, B tackle, B block shed, second in the 40 dash. Pretty good athlete, but there's no elites there as well. What is there? Safety? There's a safety we like too. This guy looks pretty good. A hip power, C man. You just don't need. We have Jeremy Chin, but we already have drafted last year Pulley, who's our Jeremy Chin successor. But Matthew Peak looks pretty good. I think it was Lopez. Had also like same kind of build, A hit power, A tackle. Not a great combine. But I think for what we're gonna do here, just kind of more so that little thing was kind of throw some names at you that we're interested. I don't know if we need that at pick 64. So let's see if there's anybody offering us good value to trade back in the 2029 draft. I don't want a future pick. I'll move back to the third. Can I get a third and a fourth? And then something else? We get a third, fifth, and sixth. No, that's not. That's a dumb trade. Seventh. Okay, these offers suck ass. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to get my guys. I've been burned far too many times. Just give you a guy. Because there's no way that we're going to, would it be nice to get this guy in the 6th round? Sure. You know what? I know with this pick, I'm not going to be pissed off at what I'm investing in. Gavin Howard, come on down. Come on. Show me what I got. Very happy with this, yes. Oh, yeah, man, that guy looks... Oh, yeah, that guy's in Dipset. 48 in true value at 64. Not crazy. Played college basketball for 2 years. The fuck's playing college basketball? 60, what? He was 6'6", like 270, and then they just, like, eat chicken. Fried chicken, chicken wings. You're going to eat 8 protein shakes a day. You're gonna eat so much wheat and oats and hamburgers. But Gavin Howard, that looks like a damn good player. I mean, just off the valuation alone. I don't love using the last pick of the second round here. Pick 64, getting a top 50 player. Dev trait, 90 strength. Not our craziest looking nose tackle, but you'll take those dev traits every day of the week. All right, we're now in the third round. We have the last pick of the third round, but now it's about, let's get greedy. It's about getting players that we like. And looking at our roster here, quick, I just did this on stream, so I don't want to take too much time. We have a left tackle, done. We got our speed JMO replacement, done. Defensively, we added another defensive tackle to this wall of man meat. We talked about replacing Jamal Adams. Kind of just brought this up in chat where it's like, want another linebacker. Obviously, Jamal Adams moved from safety to linebacker. We also did that with Pierman, right? Something that's been tried, tested, and true. Right, we'll move BY up there. So, what if we replace Jamal Adams from that standpoint with just another safety linebacker? Because I come up with that justification because we're looking at our draft board right now. There's 2 players that look very interesting, and they're both safeties. One is Matthew Peak, a little less believable at linebacker, 6'1", 209. Like you want to see like the biggest, but he's A hit power, A tackle, elite strength for whatever that's worth. So, like, this guy can tackle. This guy could kind of play that like sub-hybrid linebacker role, I guess. Or we also have this guy, Josh Lopez at Oklahoma, a little bit more linebackery. We be generous and round up 6'3", 220. Same kind of build. A hit power, A tackle. Combine is, again, neither one of these guys have like elite combines. But I'm interested. So I think when you're at a situation like that, where like, especially when we look at the linebackers that are still left, like a day 3 pick, we have Sam Sparrow, whose letter grades look pretty good, but that also looked pretty good. I think he may be our fallback option. Because I'm a sucker for getting safeties and linebackers. So the fact that there's 2 that we like in Matthew Peak and Josh Lopez, I'm going to skip until one of them gets drafted, and then we'll see if there's a decision to be had. Oh, shit, it's the first pick. So, Pittsburgh, what's up? What's up, Pittsburgh? What's up, Mike Tomlin? All right, here's another classic, like, I'm just shooting shit at a wall, and you gotta jump in and see if they'll accept the trade before you can even be like, maybe should we adjust that a little bit? Madden 27, can we have a little bit more flexibility on the trades? As soon as I saw Pittsburgh, see it faintly behind the trade. Number 4, neither of them strong safety. So if we're going to make a move for this safety, we already missed out on our first one. I want the number 2 pick in the third round. So I'm going to trade my third round pick. I had to throw in my future 6th rounder. I want their 5th because there's still that guard that has the A pass block that I want. And I think I can get him in that 5th round. So I looked at their needs. They need a tackle. Tackle is the number 1 need. You're in the 3rd round. I got Estes here. Backup tackle, 71 dev trait. Star dev. There's value there. Maybe not right away, but that could be a future tackle for them. I look at their needs. Wide receivers, another one. We have Norman on a rookie deal in a contract year. We won't be able to re-sign him. 76 star dev speedster. 95 speed. I think 2 preseasons ago, he was probably the standout player for us. So effectively for the Steelers trading the first pick of the 3rd round for the last pick of the 3rd round, we're giving them a tackle and a wide receiver, both dev traits, both rookie contracts, their 2 top biggest needs. I think that's good business because it's our depth. And with that trade, I did kind of highlight this player, but I will put this one. This will be our chat pick because chat seems to like Lopez. We're looking for that Jamal Adams. We're looking for that guy that's kind of built like a safety. He kind of play those hybrid roles just because we need to add more depth at linebacker a little bit. And, there's also an element like Jeremy Chinn's getting a little old. You know, what do we maybe look at Jeremy Chin? What if Jeremy Chin is Jamal Adams? Where it's like, all right, safety, but he's kind of, you know, losing speed a little bit. We saw in his regression, he lost some acceleration. Maybe we move Chin to kind of be like that floater at linebacker. Yes, he does, you know, back-to-back years with 5 picks. You kind of want him back there. But we could. It gives us flexibility. We drafted a safety last year. There's more depth. And Lopez, he looks like the best player on the board. A tackle, A hit power. Combine's pretty good. I like that college pro day a little bit more. I like a 4.52 and almost 2. You know, you're kind of grading him as a linebacker. You like at the combine 3-cone drill, 20-yard shuttles, top 5 in both those categories. And Chat likes this one. Chat got this is just something I floated out there when we're looking through the available players, and they're like, "Let's go safety." So this will officially be the chat stream selection that at the end for only people here in the stream we'll look at his dev trait if there is a dev trait. But we also have a scenario here where it's been a minute. We have drafted incredibly well, especially when the chat kind of pipes up. I think it always would be, there's a cynical side of me that's like, you know what? I think I'm pretty good at my job. And the fact that the chat's been able to help me out and draft as well as it makes me not feel as special. So there's also a silver lining here that we just made that trade up. It would be annoying if he, you know, a low ceiling player on a normal dev. But there's also a side of like, see, it's not that easy if the player that chat wants is like a normal or something like that. So I'm a win-win here. Either he's dev trained and it's good and we'll take a peek, or chat wants this guy, you're for sure thinking he's the best player, he's normal, and it makes me feel a little bit better as a drafter. But I also kind of like him. Let's see what we get. Let's just go. 44 at 66, Josh Lopez, and we get a dev trait. Congratulations, chat. He may be another guy that we're adding to the list of studs found by everybody tuning in for the off-season stream. Josh Lopez, good athlete. Again, we got to compare it to a linebacker. You know, 87 speed, 87 acceleration is definitely on the high end for a linebacker. I'll tell you what, though, that 86 agility, 88 change of direction, you're not seeing that on a lot of linebackers. That is that 20-yard and shuttle time right there, acceleration and his nimbleness. I'm happy with it. And he brings the thunder. All right, now we have the pick that we got in that last trade with Pittsburgh in the 5th round. And the reason why I want this pick is because there was one player left from like our initial preview. Like, yes, we got to have it. And it was Carter Matlock from Georgia. A pass block, B run block, projected UDFA player. Now, this one's interesting. This is kind of like, I'm curious. Because a lot of times, if you get a guy like this, like this combine will look decent. No. 27 wrestling. Like he's going to have like 75 strength. But the letter grades, anytime you get UDFA, AB, and pass block, run block, I think you need to trust the letter grades. So this is really the last guy on our board. We do have a 7th round pick still. Let's see what we get here. Come on! 18th and true. We didn't have a 1st round pick 20 minutes ago. Let's go! And 83 straight, I thought it was going to be way worse. Like, I was thinking like 78. 83, that's not bad. We're not going to get greedy. No more, I'm done trading. We have Mr. Irrelevant. Let's make this our best pick of the night. All right, we got Mr. Irrelevant here. And this is a good way to plug our new future franchise mode. We're only going to be drafting UDFAs. That's what we're looking for. We commented, Jameis Winston retired, so we're looking for a backup quarterback. I think I would if I was able to get an elite throw power. But even if like everything else was trash, I think I'd still get. I would have got a quarterback there. Had a good look, and I mean I'm going to show this just because there could be some players that we see right here that we want to come back to get as a UDFA. I think Iglesias with that 4.52 at linebacker, certainly a guy you want to jot down a little bit. We're not going to abuse the system with like going like nose tackle cheese and stuff like that. So there was one player that stood out here. And you want to guess why? Let's just kind of look. Oh, right tackle, right? 35, that's not bad. Ooh, 38, that's not bad for Dwight Fultz. 31 there. The left guard, we got 36. Okay, that's some pretty strong player. Oh, 43 on Dennis Pope. And he's 6'8", 372 pounds. This is going to be kind of our teaser. Because if I, honestly, this would be in our new series that we're going to be starting, the Undraftables, this would be our franchise tackle pick. If you told me I can get literally a Jordan Mailata, yes, welcome to the team, Dennis Pope. Mr. Irrelevant, I don't even think I get to see what the pick is. Cool. Totally not glitched. Draft recap time, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it here live. I think we had a very good draft. Very good. I think the last couple of drafts we've done, a big portion of our stream is like, let's go look at the players we missed. Like we usually like we take a pause and I write down 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, and it's like, all right, let's go. I don't think we have that this year. All right, there's maybe a tackle or two that was in the discussion. We had that other top 5 tackle in Wilkins, I think was his name. I think it was Wilkins or Jenkins or something. There was 2 tackles that were in the discussion of, you know, if we are going to trade up, is that where we should go? But other than that, I mean, maybe that other safety that went right before we made the trade with the Steelers. So I think we crushed it here, boys. Let's take a look at our draft. As defending Super Bowl champions, we went into this draft with no first-round pick. Now, it can't be ignored, the amount of good players. If we were on almost any other strength of team, we got rid of some outstanding players. But didn't make a dent for the talent that we have. We get Dennis Pope, 63. Oh, what? 63? 96 strength, Dennis Pope. Dev trade! Let's go! Okay. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to look at Pope's. If you're on the stream, sometimes we have a little fun, and I will expose dev traits of our players. Lopez was the chat's pick of the stream. I think we'll look at Pope as well, just because 63, what the hell is that dev trait? My pick, C4 pick, Carter Matlock in the 5th round. This guy here, we saw him. That was my guy. No ifs, ands, or buts. Dev trait, 75 overall. All dev trait picks. Lopez, your guys' pick, 73. We're not gonna highlight. It's the lowest rated player in this class. I'm not gonna bring that up. Good job on the pick. It was kind of what we're looking for. 92 hit power with the boosts. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully you guys found another one. If not, just a reminder, our lowest rated pick, that's not kind of the UDFA guys. So just let that know. We get our nose tackle here at Howard, 73 with a dev trait. Need him. Essentially, he's just going to be replacing Bowden, who we lost. He'll do that. Wish he was a little stronger, to be honest with you. Walton, this was just a great opportunity. Looking at who was available at the first pick of the 2nd round. Understanding that we could give even more cap room for a team that's going to have to pay a quarterback $600 billion trillion by getting rid of Jameson Williams. And what we got is a guy that ran a 4.3, but yes, he accelerate. 98 speed. That actually might be faster than Jameson Williams. And if not, Jameson Williams is 28. So I guarantee, let's see if we compare these two guys' speed next year, like in going at the end of year 5, once a little probably regression hits Jameson Williams at 28 going to 29, we might have just got even faster by getting rid of Jameson Williams. So that was sick. And then our pick had him scouted as a top 5 talent. Not Jamarcus, his cousin, DeMarcus Russell. We needed a starter. And anytime a rookie can come in, 96 strength, you can start. Plenty of athleticism there. Day 1 starter, left tackle. Chef's kiss. Anything else? You think we're going to win the Super Bowl and then just start magically drafting badly? Absolutely crushed the chat. GG's. So there are only a couple players that we, I guess, missed out on. One was Corey Rubin. He was the other tackle that we had scouted as a top 5 talent. 78 rated. So it's, same rating. For these players here, we'll take a little peek at their dev traits here to see what we got. And Corey Rubin is a star dev, not the end of the world. All right, we also have Matthew Peak. We had 2 safeties he liked at the start of the 2nd round, or start of the 3rd round, sorry. And he was one of the 2. Went right before us. Ooh, he's going to be good, isn't he? 74 dev trait to the Seahawks. They're trying to recreate the Legion of Boom back there. And pairing with Emanwari. Yeah, good player. Here's a look at the first tackle off the board in a class that was pretty strong tackle. 73 for Evan Bird. Let's see if he can make up for it. We already saw 2 top 5 scouted tackles that we had. Well done. Round of applause, Vikings. Good job. I think in hindsight, if our tackle's like 78 star, the 78 star, because we need win now. So, maybe the higher rating's better, but I don't know. I think there's a rebuild side of me that I'd take a 73 superstar over 78 star if that's the case with our tackle. Just snooping around because we had the number 2 player in the class. The number 1 player in the class went at pick 26 to the Chicago Bears. They got Eddie Gomez on the offensive line out of Louisville. So not a crazy class. You know, usually some classes you see a bunch of 80s. He's only a star dev. Very similar to like Falk when we drafted him. Top 5 talent player, but you got dog shit dev trade. We scouted this guy. He was UDFA grade. Giants still take him in the first round. Ben Santos. Giants keep on giantsing. All right, the last kind of big notable name was Ben Wilkins, who we got on that extra focus scout. He came up as a first rounder, and we're like, why is this guy getting mocked? We know he's a first round talent over a top 5. It just felt weird. 75, great rating, better rating than I would have thought if I was kind of blind picking there at the letter grades. Athletically speaking, nothing crazy. Like the strength isn't crazy. You know, good lean block, good impact block, decent athlete, 81 acceleration. He has a dev trait. Ben Wilkins, certainly on our short list. Superstar dev, 75. Oh man, he might have been. This might be the best tackle in the class. What do they need a tackle for? Don't they have? I don't want to spoil the immersion here. Shouldn't they still have like Fatano and Membu? Okay, got Membu. The fuck are we doing? All right, some call it maybe the favorite part of the offseason. We have now gone to the preseason, which means the last thing to do is to see are there some juicy UDFAs out there. Let's go see if we can find. We find a couple every year. Hopefully, it continues. We got one. Donovan Young has that special something. Dev trait running back out of Oregon State. Might not even make the roster. Doesn't really have a lot of redeeming qualities. But if you're a dev trait, UDFA, you join the Raiders. All right, we got another one. He's not actually a UDFA. I posed a question to chat. Yeah, fuck, he might not even make the roster. But we got Colby McCormick, who was a UDFA cheese last year. Welcome to the team. Also, we'll keep it right here. We do need a backup quarterback. So, look at the backup QBs that are here. Oh, no, sorry, chat. Oh, Milrow. Ooh, give me 1 second here. I got to talk with chat for a second. We got other options, but I think this draft has kind of been like we gave up some assets for sure. We get some high-end backup quarterbacks here. But we're about having fun. We had Anthony Richardson in a trade. Why not get, cheaper Anthony Richardson type backup? Jalen Milrow, welcome to the Raiders. Another future starter here, Brandon Lacey, nose tackle cheese, welcome to the squad. So the last couple veterans, chat wants me to bring, and I agree. Danny Dimes, mentorship, quarterback tag, bring it back. But they're a little bit worried about our pass rush. There is some insane players still available here in free agency. Like we have Kayshon Boutte, who was the Giants' best player in that Super Bowl. He's still out there. I mean, there's like, imagine if I couldn't get a tackle. I'm like, oh, shucks. You already Snow University up here. That would have been easy. But we only have 3 defensive ends on the roster. So edge rush is kind of, and look, there's guys. Jonathan Cooper's having a huge season with the Denver Broncos right now. You got Nick Herbig at 27 years old. Ellis at 26. On the other side, still got Rashawn Gary, veteran. Kwity Paye, Tyree Wilson, Montez Sweat. We have Jalix Hunt still here. Look, this guy, Colin Oliver. Michael Hoyt, Canadian, tore his Achilles, finished the play with a torn Achilles. Absolute beast. Even Montez Sweat could come in and get the job done as a depth guy. But I'm thinking either Cooper or Herbig. 84, 75. Pretty good juice still. Herbig, a little bit more upside, but it's only a 1-year deal anyways. Ooh. Go Herbig. There we go. We got depth. So there we have it, fellas. Defending Super Bowl champions. Another off-season 4 in the books. And here is a look at our lineup. We went out. I don't know if we're going to give Matlock the start here over Gilmore, but we might. Probably not, though. New look team. Colton Miller, lineman of the year, retires. We trade up aggressively. We get a guy that we hope can be a franchise tackle here in Russell. 78. No problem at all with him being a day one starter. We do lose Jameson Williams. Well, we gain about $20 million of salary cap to pay Kyle Clary, and we get 98 speed wide receiver to take his spot. And I think it looks weird because, we went from having 94, 88, 87 at wide receiver, now to 76. But is potentially maybe relying on Deion Winters a little bit more in the passing game the worst thing for this series, considering he's one of the fan favorites and one of our best picks all time? I don't think so. We got ourselves, Milroe and Danny Dimes here, backup quarterbacks, a healthy quarterback room. Defensively, Lopez, when we moved him from safety to linebackers, we go from 73 to 69. We know what we have. We know what the plan is. That's more of an attributes we like. Don't really care so much about the base rating. We'll get there, especially with the dev trait. Should develop nicely. Thigpen, Pierman. We add B.Y. Young right here. We moved Nails officially to free safety. We kept Sweeney, even though you guys really wanted to get rid of him. We lose D-tackle, right? We lose Cade Bowden and X Factor, but the X Factor, yes, it's nice from an XP standpoint, but you can only have 3 active at one time. So we go out and we get Howard to take his spot. Special teams still best in the league. I'm ready to run it back. I hope you guys are too. That is off-season number 4 here with our Vegas Raiders. Thank you guys very much for watching. If it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And before too long, you may see a brand new The Undraftables franchise mode series start. But before too long, we will be back. Year 5, Vegas Raiders Dynasty series. You're not going to want to miss it. Until that time, it's your boy C4. Say peace, I love you. Have a good one.